This certainly can't be good for business.
No, absolutely, it's not good. And we've seen this since 2008, where load shedding has had a huge impact on the industry, where big hotels have to go out and suddenly buy large generators to power up their buildings to ensure that they can deliver on the promise that we have said to the client that they're going to get when they get to the country. So it has an impact, but more now than ever, smaller businesses that have entered the industry, that are trying to really, show themselves up in the industry, find themselves in a situation where they cannot deliver the promise, that they've, said to their clients. And it's something that's, been a problem for us, and it's something that we certainly want to see solved as soon as possible.
I mean, let's say that if you had to be more of a response, or instead of being reactioning to the actual problem, but actually respond to it, would you not say that maybe the tourism sector needs to start looking at providing more generators, especially to those small businesses that are owners of bed and breakfasts and those that are trying to actually get themselves out there in the tourism sector?
No, absolutely. There are different funds, that are out there. Certainly there's a green fund that's administered by the Department of Tourism, where people can apply, to really, retrofit, their, establishments. But it's not a large amount of money that's out there. What we need to do is to have some certainty when it comes to electricity supply, because running generators is costly. Yeah. And you cannot always be running those generators. I do know that even for big establishments, when they start to run those generators, you can do it for an hour or so, but if you now have to do it continuously, you need to have, a large supply of diesel or petrol to make sure that you run those. And also for small establishments, it's the same thing. The biggest problem is that, when you're selling tourism, you're selling experiences. You promise something. And when people get into the country, if they cannot get what you promise, it becomes a big problem.
But doesn't this hamper the development of the tourism sector as a whole? Because I'm thinking of foreign nationals, especially when it comes to this time of the year, when they're visiting the country, they come in and there's no electricity. That's a bad image on behalf of South Africa, and that is an image, unfortunately, that we can't take back.
No, absolutely. It does damage the brand South Africa, when it comes to those issues. Issues around investments, are impacted. But what we want is that when people arrive, there's a bit of certainty. They understand that, they're going to get what they've bought. There are people who have booked, a year in advance. They have been planning this vacation. They have expectations. And one of the things that we do in the tourism and hospitality sector in general is that when someone has had a bad experience, we mitigate the bad experience. But we cannot continuously be mitigating. Because if your room, is not good enough, we give you another room. So if you don't have electricity and we can't get you to a destination that is supposed to go there, you can't give it dinner by candlelight. It becomes problematic. Well, we can try to coat it and make it romantic and all that, but for how long are we going to do it? We need to be able to say, this is what we are as a country, this is our image, this is what you're going to get when you come to the country. And if it's load shedding, that's going to be permanent, then let's deal with it as a permanent load shedding, so that when we sell the country as a tourist destination, we're able to say, this is what you're going to expect when you come in, and we're able to work around it, and present different scenarios, to the clients. Ours is to make sure that everyone who comes to the country have a good time, and they spend the money, and they go to where they want to go and have those experiences that they want to have. But when we cannot move vehicles on the roads because the lights are not working, it becomes a problem, because we can't get to those destinations on time. We've had people that were stuck on Table Mountain, from what I hear. And, that is not something that we want to send to the world.
Absolutely not. And I'm hoping that Eskom is listening to this conversation saying, listen, if we've got people stuck on Table Mountain, that says something about our image. We're going to leave it there for this morning. But thanks a lot for joining us and shedding some light in terms of how's the tourism sector